Hello there, a very good morning from the capital Jakarta, Indonesia. You are watching a special report here on TVRI World, where we are covering the parade of Heirloom flag here across the capital of Jakarta. We are your hosts this morning here in the studio. My name is Rahmat Idris.
Yes, and I'm Valina Daniel, and today we'll be covering the process from the Monas in central Jakarta to Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport, also in Jakarta, but the parade or the flag will be carried to the new Nusantara capital city.
Yeah, we are truly looking forward to it, Val, as this is all the ceremonies ahead of the celebration of the 79th anniversary of the independence of the Republic of Indonesia. All the ceremonies will take place this morning. We'll bring you live pictures all the way from the central Jakarta to the Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport, where we are expecting the fanfare and the spirit of festivity along the parade today.
Yes, of course. And besides that, we're also going to talk to a historian
That's
from
right.
Yogyakarta. So please stay tuned to our program until the end, until 10 a.m. today.
That's right. And there we have it, Ballerina, the latest pictures coming in ahead of the ceremony that will take place just before the delivery of the Heirloom flag parade. And we have to take note that this is not the Heirloom flag per se,
yes,
right?
This is actually the duplicate of the Heirloom flag. Because the original one is usually kept in Monas in central
That's
Jakarta.
right.
Yeah?
And if we talk about the original one, that is a flag, the Heirloom flag that dates back to the 17th of August 1945, meaning that it's quite old, it is fragile, it cannot travel much, so it's been kept in safety, and thus we have the replica or the duplicate of the Heirloom flag taking on the parade today. Alongside, from what we heard, is the text or the script of proclamations, the very words that the founding fathers of Indonesia, Sukarno, the first president of the country, uttered for the day of independence of the Republic of Indonesia. As we see that our soldiers on horses are standing by just minutes before the ceremony will take place, which is on schedule today around 8 a.m. Western Indonesia time. And you are now watching live pictures from the capital Jakarta, Indonesia, as we come to you with a full coverage of the parade of Heirloom flag and the very manuscript of proclamation of independence of the Republic of Indonesia. And bear in mind that the procession today on the 10th of August 2024 is exactly 1 week before the celebration of independence of the Republic of Indonesia. And we have also received words that the parade not only will cross the very center part of the capital Jakarta, but also most notably passing through a number of embassies in the city as well, hoping that it will showcase the sovereignty of Indonesia and a reminder of a nation that we are as we pass through those embassies. Standing by right now, there you have it, the National Monument, or known as Monas, Val.
Yes, that's right.
The starting point of our parade today of the Heirloom flag.
Yes, and today the government will hold a parade for the sacred and heirloom red and white flag on Saturday, which is today, August 10th. And the parade will be started from the National Monument in central Jakarta at 8 a.m. sharp.
During the procession, the sacred and heirloom flag and its replica will be handed from the flag hoisting team to Jakarta Acting Governor Heru Budi Hartono. The flags will later be transported to Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport through MH Tamrin, Jenderal Sudirman, and Gatot Subroto streets. The parade will reportedly be seen by around 30,000 people, with crowds expected to gather at Hotel Indonesia roundabout, the Arjuna Wiwaha horse carriage statue, and Semanggi. Jakarta Provincial Administration has prepared traffic management by deploying joint officers from Transportation Agency and Public Order Agency to secure the procession. Upon arriving at Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport, the two flags will be flown to Nusantara capital city, where the 79th Independence Day flag ceremony will also be held this year. This year, Indonesia will hold the Independence Day flag ceremony in two locations, with one in Nusantara and another one in Jakarta. The central government has launched intensive preparation steps to ensure that events will run smooth and solemn.
Pasukan tradisional Pas Pampres dengan pakaian Satria Nusantara. Ini Satria Nusantara.
Well, in the meantime, acting Jakarta Governor Heru Budi Hartono has confirmed that the Heirloom red and white flag parade on August the 10th, which is today, from the National Monument to Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport, will not cause traffic congestions in Jakarta.
Acting Jakarta Governor Heru Budi Hartono said that the Heirloom red and white flag parade on August 10th will start at 8 o'clock in the morning at the National Monument and then heading to the Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport. From the airport, the Heirloom flag and the duplicate of the proclamation manuscript will be transported to Nusantara capital city of East Kalimantan. Although there is a possibility of crowds in some locations, such as the Hotel Indonesia Runabout, Arjuna Statue and the Semanggi Flyover, Heru Budi guaranteed that the parade will run smoothly. Heru Budi also said that the 79th Independence Day flag ceremony in Nusantara, which will be attended by 2,000 guests, will consist of two sessions, in the morning and in the afternoon. Meanwhile, the flag ceremony in Jakarta will involve 3,000 guests, and the government has prepared everything to ensure that the event will go safely and smoothly.
Right, Valerina, as we wait for more live pictures coming in from the National Monument or Monas here in the capital Jakarta, we are joined by a very special guest for conversations on the Heirloom flag parade taking place today here in the capital. We have with us the historian from Universitas Gadjah Mada joining us all the way from Yogyakarta, Bapak Margono, Mr. Margono.
Flag itself.
Right. Mr. Margana, are you still with us? Can you hear us here in the studio?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
A bit problem with the signal. But it's okay, I can hear you well. Okay, so actually we already have three duplicates. So the first duplicate was, for the first time, was made in 1969. So because at that time, the national flag already fragile, because they already several years has been raised every Independence Day, and then President Suharto in 1968 decided to make a duplicate, and then the first duplicate was already raised 15 years, and in 1984 another duplicate was made. And this is also for a couple years has become the main flag that raised in every National Independence Day. And then the last was in 2014. The third duplicate of Bendera Pusaka was made. So what we are going to see here is the duplicate that was made already in 2014. So it means that this is already 10 years old. Yeah.
Right. Can you let us in, Mr. Margana, on the history of the colors? I mean, not a lot of us are quite aware of the choice of red and white, represented by our outfits today, as the main colors prominent on our flag.
Oh yeah, there's a book written by late Muhammad Yamin entitled 6,000 Years of Red and White. It is very, I mean that according to Muhammad Yamin, that the red and white is really well known and become a symbol of our Indonesian society, and since prehistoric period. And then during the Hindu Buddhist kingdoms in Indonesia, Majapahit, Singosari, Kediri, all of the kingdom has been using red and white as a symbol of our nation, including later the national hero Singa Mangaraja, Pangeran Diponegoro. They also use a kind of flag, red and white, as a symbol of opposition against the Dutch. So there's the red and white that's rooted in long rooted in our history.
So it's very meaningful. And of course, as we can see on the screen previously, while you were explaining about the history, background of the regional flag, we can also see that it is made by a special person, the original one. So can you tell us about that?
With two equal horizontal...
The original flag, Heirloom, red and white, was made by the First Lady Ibu Fatmawati, the wife of President Sukarno in that time, exactly in the night before it was raised in 17 August 1945. So when Sukarno has decided with Muhammad Hatta to proclaim Indonesian independence in the 17th of August, the evening in the 16th of August, Ibu Fatmawati has shown the red and white flag. So it's only done in very late night. So even we can say it's already around 2 o'clock in the morning, already in 17 August. So only a few hours after the flag was finished, shoot by Ibu Fatmawati, and then it's raised in the morning and 10 o'clock in the Pegangsaan for Jakarta.
Right, beautiful history there. Thank you very much, Mr. Margana. Please stay with us as we now go to the National Monument of Indonesia, to Monas, to see live pictures coming in as all the processions for the parade is ready to start. Let's go over to Monas now to take a look at the pictures.
Okay.
I will receive words that the processions has now started for the parade of the Heirloom flag, where the acting governor of Jakarta has just handed over the Heirloom flags to the officers on duty today. Right. And also today, as we've informed earlier, not only the Heirloom flag, which is the replica of it right now, but also alongside the flag is the very manuscript or the text of proclamations of the Republic of Indonesia. And now we see that in solemnity, the parade has started, carried by two former members of the entourage for
the flag hoisting.
Flag hoisting ceremony, the flag bearers of last year, right?
Yes, it's always like that. With the parade, it usually the flag will be carried by the former member of the flag hoisting officials.
Right.
So then, after that, they will give the flag to the current
members of the group that have been tasked for the 2024 ceremony in just 1 week from now. So it's like a torch being handed from the former to the current members of the flag bearers. Just exiting the National Monument right now, we see the groups are now about to descend the stairs, joining the rest of the entourage. We believe that it's going to be put into the vehicles which will take part in the parade.
Yes, at the moment, as you can see, now the flag carriers is going down the stairs. They will hand over the flag later to the current flag bearer, but at the moment they are going to go to the special carriage that will be used for carrying the flag.
Right, and I also took note earlier on, Val, that these flag bearers, these entourage, they were just descending down the stairs without looking at the stairs at all, meaning that every single step is done out of memory. You miss one step, you're going to fall down the stairs, and that's just showcase the level of exercise and restraints each and every member of them have to conduct this solemn ceremony.
Yes, they usually have to perform a lot of grand rehearsal before today, and actually they are also selected from the schools from around the country. So
best of the best, if you may say.
Right. So we have to make sure that the parade and all the processions will go smoothly.
Right. So you were there last year, Val. From your experience, has it also always been done the same way each and every year, or has it been adjusted from one year to another?
It is always the same procession.
Yeah, it's in the book,
yes.
all the steps that must go through.
But usually it is carried from the Monas, the National Monument in Central Jakarta, to the place where they have the the flag hoisting procession. So for this year, I think it's special because the flag hoisting procession is going to be done in Nusantara, the new capital city. So that's why the parade is also going to take a longer route.
Yeah. So a bit of adjustment there as we welcome the new capital, the future capital of Indonesia. Let's go over to Mr. Margana again, joining us from Yogyakarta, our historian of Universitas Gadjah Mada. Mr. Margana, we believe that you're also looking at the current happenings over at the National Monument with the parade. Share with us your thoughts on what's currently going on and why the National Monument or Monas has always been the very center of the parade where it starts.
Yeah, National Monument was raised and was built by Sukarno. Is a symbol of our independence, and it is if you see the shape of the monument, it looks like Lingayoni, a symbol of Indonesians' old Hindus belief in Indonesia. So it is also show you identity, Indonesian national identity, and this monument has been used to preserve of the our national flag for a long time. And its chosen is, I think, is the perfect place for our flag to be put there, because this is our national identity. This is our national symbol. It is also important to tell you that this formation of the carrier of the Paskibraka was actually set up in 1946 by Hussein Muntahar. So in the time Hussein Muntahar was instructed by Sukarno, and the time the capital city of Indonesia was in Yogyakarta, because Jakarta was occupied by the Dutch coming back again to occupy Indonesia, and then the capital city moved to Yogyakarta. So it's going to happen that we're going to have at least 3 capital city in Indonesia. And at the time, in the 17th August 1946, was the first time Indonesian as a state going to celebrate in a ceremony of our independence in Yogyakarta. And Hussein Muntahar was instructed by Sukarno to formulate and design what kind of raising, the way of raising the flag, who is responsible to raising. And Hussein Muntahar has an idea, the raising the flag, or the troop that hoisting the flag should be represent from all the whole province of Indonesia. But in that time, because of the revolution problem, Muntahar only able to select 5 people who in charge to raise the flag in Gedung Agung in Yogyakarta.
Right, another presidential palace over in Yogyakarta. One of the very reasons why Yogyakarta earned its name as the special region. Mr. Margana, looking at what's currently happening over at Monument Nationals, over the very place where the processions has started, we see now that the entourage has all been set up. The flags and the text have been put into the vehicles, into the car, ready to depart from the National Monument, crossing different historical sites and embassies in the capital Jakarta all the way to the Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport.
Yeah.
Right. What's
walk us through. This is really new because. Yeah.
Mr. Margana, walk us through each and every steps of processions, because as mentioned by Val before, that we are trying to keep each and every step, every single year in accordance with the books. However, this year, as we embrace the arrival of the new capital, Nusantara, there's been a little bit of adjustments and the length and the route of the parade.
Yeah, of course, it's getting to be different because we are not only have a parade in Jakarta. Later, when the flag also arrived in Ikn, there's going to be another parade there. So this is actually this is a new way of celebrating our independence, especially during Pak Jokowi presidency. Before, the parade is not so simple. It's not like this. It's not as a big like this. So this is good that in this parade also invite the public to watch together and to see the parades, to celebrating the parade and welcoming the Indonesian independence.
Yes. There's also one thing that is different. As I said before, last year we used a special carriage to carry the flag, from the Monas or National Monument to the palace. But today, as we've seen, we are using a new kinds of vehicles, which is a car, special car that is used for today's procession. So can you see, or maybe can you make a meaning from today's procession, you know, such as using a new vehicles and a new procession? What things that you can tell us from this procession this year?
Maybe it's more like a practical thing because last year the procession is only happened from Monas to Istana Negara in that time.
Yeah.
So using it and carry it is very exciting, also very unique. But today we're going to bring our flag to the airport as well. So I think it's more practical to use a new vehicle to go there.
Right. Go ahead, Val.
Oh, okay. Well, actually, as you can see here, that the parade is also describing the people from Indonesia. So they usually have people wears the traditional costumes.
All the different ethnics. We have hundreds of them. So this is really a display of nationalism across the country. So why do you think that it is an integral element, Mr. Margana, for us to be able to display all of these different elements of our culture in the parade?
Yeah, I think this is important thing, that a positive thing that initiated by Pak Jokowi, because this is Indonesia. We want to see our plurality. We want to see as a Bhinneka Tunggal Ika. So we have to be proud of our own identity. In Indonesia, it's not only Java, it's not only Malay, but also we have so many culture, ethnic, and traditions that we have to be proudly show to the public. And we have to be, what we can be proud of is that even when we are so much differences among us, but we can still maintain our Indonesian independence until now. So I think it is a very symbolizing our unity and diversity.
Right, we're still looking at live pictures now from the National Monument, or Monas here, as it's commonly called here in Indonesia, where the marching bands, as you see there, right there on the screen, alongside their costumes and festivity is up in the air as the group is moving from Monas towards the designated points across the city.
Yes, this marching band is usually consists of officials from the military and the police.
That's right. And it has been reported that the route that the parade will take place will be witnessed by not less than 30,000 people, particularly around the roundabout of Hotel Indonesia Kempinski, which is known to be one of the epicentrum of activities in the capital. All smiles there, Val, as you can see, the two beautiful former members of Paskibraka, as we say it. Mr. Margana, as you mentioned earlier, this is very distinctive to the presidency, to the administrations of President Joko Widodo, where the showcase of our independence, and for this particular edition, is the heirloom flag, and the proclamation text is inherent to his administrations. Why do you think he made the choice to, okay, let's just turn this around, bring more attention toward parades and processions of our heirloom flag, or for lack of better words, the replica of it? Mr. Margana.
Yeah, this is I think this is good that that Pak Jokowi want to show that this is our independence. It's not only everybody should celebrate it. So by bringing this in a parade, I think this will make our people even more proud of our history and our national flag. So this is the two of the carrier of the one of the carrying the duplicate and one of the pusaka, bendera pusaka, that later will be brought to IKN and to be raised there. And this is, I think, a special behind. You know, it is not merely a flag. It's not merely a kind of textile with two different colors. But this is also has very heroic history in that time. I tell you that during the Dutch occupation in Yogyakarta, in the second aggression of the Dutch in 1948, the flag was actually secured by Hussein Muntahar to Semarang, and before it's secured by Hussein, the flag was divided into two. So when Sukarno, aware of the arrival of the Dutch military troop to occupy Yogyakarta, Sukarno instructed his Hussein Muntahar to save the flag, the national flag. And Hussein Muntahar decided to separate the colors, white and red, and put it in different bag. But later, as you know in our history, that Sukarno, Hatta, and other ministers were captured and exiled to Bangka. And Hussein Muntahar also was captured also and then sent to Semarang. But the bad news is that in Semarang, he heard that soon he will be executed. So he asking the help of his friend when he was studying at AMS to secure him and escape from the prison. And in that time, he managed, with the help of his friend, he managed to escape from the prison in Semarang and then fleeing to Jakarta. He was flying to Jakarta to save the flag. And in Jakarta, he met the doctor of the Soekarno, the private doctor of Soekarno and Hatta, Bapak Dr. Suharto, his name. And then he asking Dr. Suharto to keep the flag safe there. And until later, Bhai Sujono was taken to Bangka to give him back to the Sukarno in Bangka in the exile in that time. So it's very heroic moment because Hussein Mutahar to save this. That's why we call this Spendara Pusaka because of this heroic moment.
All right, so Mr. Margana, we understand that when the country decided that to keep the flag in Monas or National Monument in central Jakarta because Jakarta is the capital city. Yeah. But now the question is if we are going to have the new capital city in Nusantara,
will it be
do you
moved
think,
to the new capital?
Maybe they're going to keep it over there instead of National Monument? What do you think about that?
I don't think, I agree if this national, like our Bendera Pusaka, the original Bendera Pusaka, remain in Jakarta, because then we're going to have such kind of historic moment and this kind of period. It means that later that not only people in Kalimantan will see this parade, but people in Indonesia can also see the parade. And this is because this is also a historic decision that they have put the Bendera Pusaka in Monas, and let be that to respect our former capital city Jakarta, you know, to keep their role in the history as a city that also keeping the national flag. So I would be happy to see the national flag, our original national flag, remain in Jakarta, and every year we have this kind of ceremony.
Right.
Don't you think so? This is more, you know, it's more exciting, right?
Right. We are currently looking at cheers from each side of the streets as all the onlookers all around are celebrating the arrival, or rather the journey of the heirloom flag and also the proclamation text there here in Jakarta. And Mr. Margana, I'd like to get your opinion on this, because we've mentioned this at the beginning of the program that we are just 1 week away from the 79th anniversary of independence of Indonesia, and that is a big number. We're just 1 year away from 80 years of independence. Share with us your thought, Mr. Margana, on how significant for a nation to reach a milestone of 79 years of independence such as Indonesia.
Yeah, this is really a remarkable achievement that we have as a nation. You know, there's so many obstacles we face, and with how many, you know, we face a lot of differences, conflict, political conflict, and incident, and many historical events that almost make us, you know, broken as a nation. But we survived from that. It sounds that it shows that this is what is the meaning of being a one nation, and everyone in Indonesia has the same opinion, even they are different. They believe that any conflict that we have, we can all these obstacles we can manage perfectly. So I think this is a really milestone that in the almost 80 years of Indonesian independence, we have reached a lot of things, especially under the presidency of Suharto. We have seen a lot of change, a lot of progress that we made. Also, the decision to move the capital city from Jakarta to IKN was really a really brave decision. And I think if people are thinking about the long vision about Indonesians in 2045, we want to have Indonesia amassing the growth of Indonesia. And this is only happen if we have a very, very long vision. And moving capital city from from Jakarta to Kalimantan for me is a good decision. Maybe in the beginning we're going to face a lot of obstacles, but in the end, if we consistent to our decision and have a positive mind and mindset to achieve this, I think we can do it. As you know, history has proved to us 18 years of struggle and obstacle, we can manage well.
Right. So Jakarta will be the next New York, and Nusantara will be the next Washington D.C. We believe that. Thank
Maybe,
you.
yeah. Maybe, yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing with us that thought, Mr. Margana. Val.
Yes. So as you can see, here we can look at the procession of the Heirloom Flag Parade. As Mr. Magana mentioned earlier, so this is actually a 10 years old flag because this is the third duplicate of the original Heirloom flag. What you see here at the moment is how the parade is taking a new route, which is usually only from Monas to the palace, but now it's going to take a longer route because, as you can see, now the flag is going to be carried to the new capital city, Nusantara.
So it has to fly.
Yes.
It goes to the nearest airport, that's Soekarno-Hatta, but Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport.
Yes, that's right. And then, as you can see here now, we can see that the parade is taking place at still in central Jakarta, is actually maybe around the palace area in central Jakarta, but now is going to move to the another side in central Jakarta, which is the another monument in central Jakarta.
Right.
And then after that, they're going to go through to the different kind of
historical
embassies
and historical sites,
building and historical sites,
including, it's been reported, Val and also Mr. Margana, that it's going to be passing through the monument of Patung Kuda, or the horse statue, literally translated into English, which bears also a significant meaning later on when it arrived to that point, dating back to the founder of Indonesia, the first president, Sukarno. In the meantime, this is a massive area of Monas where we believe they are just still going around it, heading towards the central part of Jakarta. And it's been reported that it's going to take around 30 to 35 minutes. Well, the road's been cleared for the parade to take on through from the National Monument all the way to Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport.
Yes, it's also only once a year event.
Right.
So this is very special because during this parade, you know, the onlookers can see different activities in Jakarta.
That's right. I mean, cheers and enthusiasm is right there on the air. People are basically just cheering from each side of the street. And it's weekend, Val.
Yes.
We see students in uniforms on a Saturday. How amazing is that?
Yes, of course. And including us, right?
Yeah,
we get
we're
up
on
in the
duty
morning
today.
just to see this new kind of parade, because this is a very new kind of parade. This with the spirit of new capital city, of course. And as you can see at the moment, we have seen the marching band, which consists of several officers from the military and the police.
Yeah.
They're wearing their costumes with their own meaning, of course. Their mascots, actually.
Yeah.
So this is, as I said before, is once a year event. So it's very special for the onlookers to see.
One of the most highly anticipated events of the year. Mr. Margana, are you still with us, sir?
Yeah, sure.
Right.
I see that everyone looks very happy and cheering at the parade, and maybe everyone has the same feeling like we have here also in Yogyakarta. Even we are a long way from the capital city and the parade. I think we can feel the sense of this Independence Day. And we are happy that there's a show in the national television, so everybody can also can transfer the sense of the celebrating of our national anthem.
Right. And of course, we wish that you were here with us in the studio in Jakarta and feel all the merriness from where we are right now. But you are in Yogyakarta, which is an integral part of our struggle for independence, especially with the participations of the Sri Sultan Hamengkubuwono the 7th and the 9th also. Highly important there. And 79 years being independence or having our independence is not an easy feat. Walk us through some of the most pivotal moments in our struggle for independence from hundreds of years of colonizations from the Dutch and also from the Japanese, Mr. Margana.
Yeah, right. It's because Yogyakarta is a very historic city. Well, I can imagine what happened if Sultan Hamengkubuwono never offered Yogyakarta as a capital city when Jakarta was occupied. At that time, only 2.5 months after we proclaimed our independence, the Dutch coming back here to occupy again our nation. So the moving the capital city from Jakarta to Yogyakarta was a very historic moment and very important moment where we can save our nation. So Yogyakarta actually had to play their role in that very critical moment when we are under the threat of other colonialism want to come back to Indonesia. So I would be happy if this kind of parade will also include this capital city, because Yogyakarta, don't forget, we have become the capital city for almost 4 years. So if the parade they continued from Jakarta, Yogyakarta, and then to Ikn, that would be most interesting. And also, it's more interesting. And also, we felt as a people of Yogyakarta, felt honored to be involved in this historic moment.
Yes, I'm sure it's also a great feeling of pride by being one of the residents of one of the previous capital city of Indonesia. And I'm sure the people in East Kalimantan also feeling the same, embracing the new capital city in Ika and in Nusantara, East Kalimantan. So maybe can you tell us, like, how does it feel to be the residents of one of the historical cities in Indonesia? So maybe this is also can be a feeling that will be shared by the people in East Kalimantan.
Yeah, for the Yogyakarta people, the moment when we are a capital city still very deeply rooted in our mind and memory. And lately, the governor of Yogyakarta, Sultan Hamengkubuwono, then try to memorize all those kind of moments, and by building a new monument, new museum of our position as a capital city in that time. And of course, in Yogyakarta was the really struggle took place, where we are opposite the Dutch. Remember that there's an event, the very historic event of the Serangan Umum 1 Maret or the first March attack that done by our national troop against the Dutch, and we able to push the Dutch away from the city for 6 hours. And then this impact is really huge, because then we got a very wild word support from the other nation to force the Dutch to return to Jakarta, and then also to back to the negotiation and diplomacy. And finally, we got the recognition of independence from the Dutch in 1949. So this is very important for people of Yogyakarta, that these events remain in our memory, and we have to, remember this part of our historical teaching.
Right. Mr. Margana, we mentioned this times and over again, that this is not the real heirloom flag parade. It is a replica, or a duplicate of it rather, alongside the text. And the real ones are kept at the national museums. I mean, the biggest question is that as aged as it is right now, have we done enough to sort of keep the real heirloom flag from further deteriorate?
Yeah, I think it is important to keep and preserve the original national flag in safe place because for its role in history. And we understand that the flag is only made out of textile, which is in several years it's going to be fragile, and it is good that we can replace it because we want to show to the world our national flag, and we have to be proud of that. So it doesn't really matter. It doesn't even it's duplicate. I think it's not reduce the meaning of this flag for our nation and our history. So it's a matter of technical aspect of raising the flag and to show the ceremony to be more perfect. Because if you have a fragile text that already 80 years old, then you raise it. It is very risk to be what you call it ropes out of because of the fragility of the flag that already 18 years old. So it doesn't really matter if we regularly make a duplicate of this national flag.
Yeah. Or maybe can you tell us how the technique that has been used by the country or the government to preserve the flag, the original ones?
Yeah, I think we have made a good and correct way of preserving. I put the national flag in the museum, so it's safe there. And then most of the other nations will do the same also, and they have their own national flag and the history of their national flag. And I think they consider this. They treated their national flag the same way like we had done also here in Indonesia.
Right. Well, thank you for that, Mr. Margana. As we are still continuing our special program here on TV Our World, we come to you live from the capital, Jakarta. For those of you who just join us, you are currently watching live pictures from the parade of heirloom flag alongside the text or the manuscripts of a proclamation of independence of the Republic of Indonesia that are now currently being transported from the National Monument or Monas of Jakarta all the way to Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport. You are looking at the vehicles where the former members of Paski Braka or the flag hoisters members of 2023, just last year, taking part in the delivery of these items all the way to the airport where they are going to be flown from the capital Jakarta to the future capital of Indonesia, Nusantara. Still under construction, but all eyes are on Nusantara right now for the very first ever, a week from now, the ceremony of Independence Day. Mr. Margana, what can we look forward to the first ever ceremony a week from now, from 17th of August 2024 over at IKN? How excited are you to witness what's going to go down at the future capital?
Yeah, surely this will be, everybody will look forward for this moment to be happen in IKN because, you know, when Jokowi has an idea to move to the capital city and building the capital city there, a lot of doubt, a lot of criticism and things like that. But you see, after 2 years, and we showed something real happen there. And then you know that the presidential palace has ready to host this ceremony. Of course, I've seen it in the internet, in the YouTube about the city and the new capital city in IKN. It looks really, really beautiful, and it looks they're really ready. Even even still under construction, but they really prepare for sometimes to really to make this parade and to make this ceremony successful there. And this is also a heroic moment because only a few months, weeks later, Jokowi will step down and replaced by our new president, Prabowo Subianto. So we really looking forward to see how the ceremony will be held there, and then everybody will looking at the capital city itself, the presidential palace, and other buildings that accompany the presidential palace. Everyone, this is also a time to prove to everyone that this is not wishful dreaming. Also, something that only in the imagination. This is a real project that real happened, and it's the time also for the government, especially Pak Jokowi, to convince the successor of his presidency, Prabowo, to continue this project.
Yeah, we have a lot of questions on that matter in a little bit, Mr. Margana. Val, I don't know if you can make out. I'm not really sure. Is this the roundabout of? Oh, that is not. That is the Patung Kuda,
yes,
right?
This is the horse statues.
Still in the Patung Kuda.
Yes.
Right. Right. So allow us to walk us through a little bit on the current scenery that you're looking at from the parade. They have arrived at the Patung Kuda monument, or originally its name is the Arjuna Wijaya statue, which is a statue that depicts a scene of Mahabharata. It is created by artist I. Nyoman Nuarta, and as you can see, the group has been stationed for a while to perform. Let's have a look.
Give opportunity to the public to see more about the parade, and they stop there to perform in the front of the public. I think this is also one of the places where people are gathering to see the parade. Right. The other place perhaps later in the round part of the Hotel Indonesia.
Yes, at the moment we can also see that the acting governor of Jakarta is also participating in the parade, and people
are trying to shake hands with him. So excited. Right, as you're looking at live pictures where each members of the entourage for the parade of the Heirloom flag and the proclamation of independence text right there stationed over the monument of Patung Kuda, or the horse statue, which bears a significant meaning to the visit of the founding father, the first president of Indonesia, Sukarno, to Turkey. And then when he returned, that we should have a monument that depicts certain scenes, and it was taken from Mahabharata, which is truly an illustration of bravery of the nation. And we are also going to be joining our reporters standing by over at the airport of Halim Perdana Kusuma, Val, as our very own, or rather at the National Monument, where our very own Shafira Junior is ready to give us the latest on what's currently happening over at the very starting point of the parade. Safira, well, there you are. Tell us what you are looking at right now and how was the ceremonies that took place earlier at the start of the parade?
Well, hello, Rahmat and Valerina reporting live from National Monument, Jakarta, Indonesia. We have seen the start of the commemoration of Indonesia's 79th Independence Day. It started with the Heirloom flag parade, where the Heirloom flag was paraded from here, National Monument, to the Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport. The replica of the Heirloom flag and the proclamation text are now being carried from here, National Monument, to the new capital city Nusantara in East Kalimantan. The 2023 National Flag Hoisting Troops is conducting the procession, and this event is open for the public. Many people gathered here around to see the processions since morning. And the parade of the Heirloom flag and proclamation text started at 8 a.m. Jakarta time before. The flag and proclamation text are being paraded using a tactical vehicle or rantis called Maung, along with Paskibraka team or the National Flag Hoisting Troops with marching band. Before, some roads along the routes were closed at 7 a.m. Jakarta time and now being reopened during the parade to the Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport. This parade also held last year, 2023, not only to honor Indonesia's history, but also to represent the harmony and unity of the nation. And that's what we have for now. Valerina and Rahmat from National Monument. I'm Safira Junior and camera person Adri Handira reporting for TVRI World. Back to the studio.
All right. Fira and Andri, thank you guys for reporting from the National Monument. Looks like a bright day there. Quite a coverage. Thank you very much, guys.
All right, now we're going to continue the live parade of the Heirloom flag and also the duplicate of the proclamation text. And exactly, I think they're going to reach another historical site. That is going to be the Hotel Indonesia roundabout, which is also historical hotels because it is one of the first hotels that is built in the capital Jakarta at that moment. So now we are seeing the troops or the parade groups are moving on to that side.
Right.
Yes, as we can see now, the road is cleared, not as full as the previous route. Right. But hopefully, as the acting governors said in the press conference, this route is already arranged so then the parade will not cause the traffic in Jakarta. Because as you know, the Jakarta traffic is very full, usually in the weekdays. So
exactly. So it is one of the better options to have it on a Saturday morning here in the capital Jakarta, but not diminishing the excitement, because even though it's weekend, we can still see people pouring down to the street alongside the route as the group is en route to yet the next spot here across the capital Jakarta, as mentioned by Val earlier, heading towards Hotel Indonesia, which is not only one of the main points in Jakarta's capital, but also the very central of metropolitan, if we may say. You have the biggest hotels there, some of the biggest high-rise buildings, shopping centers. It's the centers of happenings in the capital, meaning that this very weekend, people who are packing the roundabout of Hotel Indonesia will be inundated by spectacular visuals and performances, and more importantly, the passing by of the flags or the replica of it, and the proclamation text.
Yes, and don't forget, of course, in the middle of the roundabout, there's that statues called the Selamat Datang.
Exactly,
so it's
the
like
waving hand
welcoming
statues
to all the visitors to Jakarta, which because the location of this roundabout is actually in central Jakarta. So that's why it is also one of the historical sites that is chosen to be passed by the parade, so that people will recognize some of the historical sites in Jakarta, the capital city at the moment. But now this history will be passed on to the new capital city, Nusantara.
Right. Well, Indonesia indeed is predicted to be one of 10 biggest economy by 2030. And we're also embracing 2045 for the golden Indonesia, and also becoming an economic powerhouse, at least in the region of Southeast Asia in the near future, if not already happening right now. And you are still looking at, I think it's getting more merrier right now, Val. I can't really make out the exact point where they are right now, but the crowd, as you see, is getting even more tighter there as the entourage or the group of delivery of these two items, the flag and the proclamation text, are passing through towards its final point of Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport. It's a bright and sunny Saturday here in the capital Jakarta, as crowds and onlookers are crowding the streets to welcome the parade of the heirloom flag and also the proclamation text ahead of the ceremony of, or rather the celebrations of independence of the Republic of Indonesia just a week from now on the 17th of August.
Yes, as you can see, at the moment the flag parade passes the Semanggi interchange, which is also one of the historical sites in Jakarta. Just like Mr. Magana said, it is also one of the symbols that prove to the world that Indonesia, especially Jakarta, as the capital city, is entering the modern era, because this Semanggi interchange has been developed since 1962, and then now it has gone through a lot of new kinds of developments. So now it's become more efficient and more modern. Of course, it is also the same as the spirit of Jakarta as the modern capital city at the moment. And now the parade is leaving the Semanggi interchange and now is moving forward to the Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport.
Right. Mr. Margana, I would like to get your insights on the transitions of the new capital. We don't know exactly when it's going to happen. The construction is still ongoing, but at least on the 17th of August, a week from now, we'll witness the first celebration or the first anniversary of independence over at Nusantara. But what does this mean for Jakarta as the current capital moving ahead, as the capital city is moved to Nusantara? What's going to happen to Jakarta? A lot of people expect that it's still going to be the main hub of businesses. Ministries are moved to the capital, but businesses will stay intact right here in Jakarta. What do you make of it?
Okay, for me, I think Jakarta went after leaving left out as a capital city. I think it is become more important, historically become more important, because Jakarta has very also a lot of historical moments, and then become a historic city. And this is give a more meaning even to Jakarta. And also the burden of Jakarta as a capital city was reduced, and then they can concentrate more other, other aspect of development in Jakarta. So for me, this is even more important for Jakarta after left out as a capital city. The governor can concentrate more on the, the developing the economy of the citizens, and improving the infrastructure, and even, make a better plan for the future of Jakarta, and shaping up the new role that they will play in the future.
Right. Share with us some of the most important moments of Jakarta as the capital of Indonesia, the history of it, and some of its highlights, Mr. Margana, from your perspective?
Yeah, since the beginning, of course, when we got our independence, we have no choice other than Jakarta, because in that time, Jakarta was the most modern city in Indonesia in the time, and the infrastructure support that as a capital city in the time, and a lot of historical event happened in Jakarta, where especially when we are doing preparation of our independence, we call it PPKI, and PPKI make a kind of meeting there, and this a place where a nation was really planned and set up. That is the place where we preparing our independence. Jakarta is the place where what you call we call it the kind of womb of you analogies with woman which in pregnancy. So Jakarta is like a womb where the place of the new nation, of the birth, baby of nation were born. So this is the most important thing. So we cannot forget Jakarta is a place where we are as a nation planning the future of Indonesia, the goal, the aims, the prosperity that we want to reach, the justice that we want to reach, the progress that we want to reach, the spirit of the nation was set up here.
Yep. Okay, Mr. Margana, as you can see that the Nusantara capital city is still ongoing, the development is still ongoing. So we're going to see Jakarta maybe is going to have a dual roles in the meantime during the transition. So what can you tell us about the specific role that can be played by the government during this transition? You know, how can they maximize the role of Jakarta as the former capital city while waiting for the new capital city to be ready to be in complete
state
role, or state as the capital city of Indonesia?
I think the transition of the capital city will not take place in very short time, 1 or 2 years. It will take a long, I think at least 10 to 15 years. So Jakarta is still important because IKN was not really ready. They will really ready after a few years. So I believe that Jakarta is still important in the coming 10 years or 15 years, to prepare the transition and done smoothly. So in the near future, I don't see that Jakarta will change so much. So it is still important.
Right. Thank you for sharing with us that thought, Mr. Margana. For those of you who join us here on TVR World, we are coming to you live this morning for a very special program on the highly anticipated event ahead of the celebration of the 79th anniversary of independence of the Republic of Indonesia. This is the parade of heirloom flag of the Republic of Indonesia, dating back to the day of its independence, alongside the very manuscripts of proclamations of independence uttered by the founding fathers of Indonesia. And in the meantime, as we wait for the entourage to make its way to Pancoran area all the way through to the final points, we have yet another report coming in, Val.
Yes, the Heirloom flag procession is one of the important traditions ahead of the Indonesian Independence Day ceremony. This year, the parade is also set to enliven a series of celebrations which will take place in the National Monument compound in Jakarta. This morning already happened, and the new capital city of Nusantara in East Kalimantan.
The Heirloom Flag Parade is one of the procession in the commemoration of Indonesia's Independence Day. The red and white flag has historical and symbolic meaning of the country, which will celebrate its 79th Independence Day in 2024. The heirloom flag, which was first raised on August 17, 1945, is a symbol of struggle and independence of the nation. This year, the parade will start from the National Monument in central Jakarta, in which the heirloom flag will then be transported to the new capital city of Nusantara in East Kalimantan from the Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport in East Jakarta. Various parties, including the flag-raising troops and security forces, will get involved in the procession, which will take place at various important locations in Jakarta. The heirloom flag parade is part of the celebrations of Indonesian Independence Day in the whole month of August and will become another historic moment for the nation.
In the meantime, the red and white heirloom flag, known as Sangsaka Merah Putih, is a silent witness of the nation's journey and is one of the most respected symbols of the nation. It is different from the red and white flag, which is the symbol of the Indonesian nation. Well, here's the history, or rather the story of the red and white flag. Take a look.
This story can be traced in the book titled Small Notes with Bung Karno, Part 1, published by PT Delta Rohita in 1978. In the book, Indonesia's First Lady, Mrs. Fatmawati, explained that the cloth used to make the country's first red and white flag was a gift from the leader of the Japanese propaganda group, Hitoshi Shimizu, who gave it to Mrs. Fatmawati through a young man named Khairul Basri. It was on September 7, 1944, Japanese Prime Minister Kuniaki Koiso promised that Japan would give independence to Indonesia. The two pieces of red and white cotton cloth given to Mrs. Fatmawati in October 1944 were sewn with a hand-sewing machine and was magically transformed into a flag, which has bicolor with two equal horizontal bands of red on top and white on bottom, with an overall ratio of 2:3. Less than a year later, the heirloom flag was raised for the first time at President Sukarno's house on Jalan Pegangsaan Timur 56, Jakarta, after the president read the Proclamation of Indonesian Independence on Friday, August 17, 1945. At the time, the flag was raised on a bamboo pole by the flag-hoisting troops, or Paskibraka, led by Captain Latif Hendraningrat. When the heirloom flag was raised, the song Indonesia Raya was also sung together. Since then, the commemoration of Independence Day has been held on August 17th, during which the national flag hoisting ceremony is held in the morning and the flag lowering ceremony is held in the evening at the Merdeka Palace, Jakarta, using the red and white heirloom flag. However, due to the fragility of the flag, since 1969, the flag raised at the Merdeka Palace has been a duplicate of the historic flag. So far, the heirloom flag has been duplicated 3 times. The heirloom flag was duplicated for the first time in 1969 at the request of Hussein Mutahar, the Director General of Education and Culture at the time and former adjutant of President Sukarno. Hussein Mutahar again submitted a request to President Suharto to make a second duplicate of the heirloom flag on the ground that the first duplicate has been too old. Lastly, in 2015, the third duplicate of the red and white flag was raised during Indonesia's Independence Day commemoration ceremony at the Merdeka Palace in Jakarta. The red and white color of the heirloom flag is taken from the color of the Panji or Pataka of the Majapahit Kingdom, which was centered in East Java in 13th century. Both are symbolized by the color red or earth and white or sky. Also, the red and white flag, stated in the Ramayana book, means unity in diversity. Currently, the original heirloom flag, together with the original text of the Proclamation of Indonesian Independence, both have been kept at the National Monument or Monas since 2017. The storage is equipped with 12 centimeters thickness bulletproof glass and about 30 centimeters height. Inside the glass, there is a temperature control so that the quality of the flag can still be preserved and maintained. The heirloom flag is also stored unfolded in a vitron or display cabinet made of bulletproof glass with the same size as the heirloom flag.
Right, Val and also Mr. Margana on the other side there. Let's head back to what's currently happening down the road as the group is making its way to the final destinations of the parade today, which is the Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport. It is reported that they have arrived at the area of Cawang, meaning that moments from now, the final destination will be reached, Val, right?
Yes, at the moment they are still moving to the Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport, which is going to be the final location of this parade in Jakarta before the flag and the proclamation tag is going to be flown to the new capital city in East Kalimantan.
Right.
And then, of course, as you can see at the moment, it is going to be arriving soon.
Right.
Hopefully that the, well, of course, the traffic is now cleared. So the process is going to be smooth, of course.
Right. As a Jakartan yourself, Val, give us an estimate. If you drive traffic-free from Cawang to Halim Perdana Kusuma, how long will it usually take? Give us an approximate time there.
When the traffic is clear, of course, you can maybe reach it in less than 20 minutes.
Okay.
Because you see at the moment that the road is cleared for this parade, so hopefully it is going to be able to reach the final destination before
in time,
before
hopefully.
The prediction time.
Right. But they can't go that fast though, because as you can see that people are still packing up the streets. Such a narrow street as well. Enthusiasm is high in the air. So even though the traffic is cleared, the road has been cleared off for the parade to go through, but still they have to be cautious with the speed, not to cause any disruption to the onlookers nearby on each side of the street.
Yes, of course, that we are going to see that the flag is going to be welcomed by another procession in Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport before it's going to be taken to the new capital city by plane. And of course, as we can see here, that there are still students and people that live near the area are now welcoming the flags and the text towards the Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport. Okay. Usually the Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport is a very hectic airport because it not only serves the
purpose of the military flight. Yes, we call that as Pangkalan Udara or the Air Force Base.
Yeah,
but also commercial flights are taking place there.
Yeah, so it's usually very hectic in Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport. But now, as you can see, they are preparing the airport to be serving these special flag parade today.
Right, and we believe they'll be taking a very special entrance to Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport's one that is usually used by the military purposes, apart from the domestic or rather the commercial ones, because as we know it, Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport is literally the closest airport from the capital Jakarta if you like to fly out of Jakarta, as opposed to the other one, Soekarno-Hatta International Airport. And there you're still looking at our live pictures coming in from the capital Jakarta, Indonesia, as the heirloom flag and the text of proclamations are making its way in a beautiful ceremony, a trip happening right now to Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport, where it's later on going to be flown over to the future capital of Indonesia, either to Balikpapan or Samarinda. We're not very sure at the moment. Most likely Balikpapan though. And then ending up to its final destinations, the presidential palace of IKN the Nusantara capital of Indonesia. Mr. Margana, you're still with us from in Yogyakarta, sir?
Yeah, I'm still with you.
Right. I'd like to get your take on the routes that the group is currently passing by. Just moments ago, it is passing by the Pancoran area, and now it's arrived at Cawang area, a little over 15 minutes to the final destination's Halim Perdana Kusuma. But I'd like to go back a little bit to the Pancoran area because there is a monument there. We discussed that briefly. But there's also a very significant character, or rather an illustration of bravery as well, depicted in the Pancoran area with the presence of Gatot Kaca. And you are being based in Yogyakarta, very closely related to the Javanese culture. Walk us through why these so-called mystical, or rather mythical characters. We've seen that from Mahabharata earlier with the Patung Kuda and also the Gatot Kaca in the Pancoran area have been chosen to be depictions of Indonesia for these monuments.
Yeah, you cannot see this Pancoran, all this monument without mentioning Sukarno, because most of the idea was coming from Sukarno. And you know, Sukarno is very loved wayang very much, the story of Mahabharata and Ramayana. And you know, if you read many of Sukarno's speech, national speech, they always using the idolizing the figure in the wayang, including Gatot Kaca, who is also one of the hero in the Mahabharata war, when he has to kill in that war against the Korawa. And Sukarno want to see this spirit of heroism also in this monument. And again, the man who in charge to build this statue is Edi Sunarso, this artist from Yogyakarta. He just only passed away a few years ago, and he collaborated with other artists in Yogyakarta. And you know that some of the figure, a model of that statue is Sukarno himself. So Sukarno was figured in some figurized in one of the statue made by Sukarno in that time, and made by Edi Sunarso in that time. So he standing like this and positioning himself as a posture of monument, and then Edi Sunarso sketch it and make it into a statue at the time. So this is also a very important monument and located in the east of Jakarta.
Right, looking at the pictures again, Val, it is crowded. Will you look at that? The closer it gets to the destinations, the more people packing up the streets. It is overwhelming to see the crowds. I believe that you can also see it from your screen where you are right now in Yogyakarta, and get a little bit of sense of the euphoria and joy that the people are currently feeling, as we can see right there on the screen. It is literally
I think
a
they're
struggle
very happy,
for the...
They're really happy
for the
to
crowd
see
to pass through.
closer with the Pusaka, Heirloom Garu up national flag, which maybe not every time in his life he can see this. So in this period he can see it closer to the Pusaka of Bendera Pusaka. So they're really happy and excited to see it, and I can feel that from here.
Yes, and of course, to know more the excitement in Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport, we are going to be joined by our reporter, Adrian, from Halim Perdana Kusuma. Hello, Adrian. Can you tell us what's happening over there at the moment?
Hello, good afternoon, Valerina and Rahmat. Today I'm at Bandara Halim Perdana Kusuma, where today the procession of the national flag of the proclamation text will soon arriving here at the airport. before being taken to the Nusantara capital city in East Kalimantan. Previously, the convoy has already departed from Monument Nasional or Monas, which is expected to pass through of numbers of main roads such as MH Tamrin Street, Jenderal Sudirman, and also Gatot Subroto before arriving here at Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport. And upon the arrival at the airport, the national flag and the proclamation text will be flown to the Sepinggan Airport in Balikpapan, which later then will be delivered to the Nusantara capital city. I already have the list of the bearer of the task and the national flag, which is the 2023 Purna Paskibraka team that will be tasked as the bearer of the duplicate flag of the red and white flags, which is with the name of Kachina Ozora from the Central Kalimantan province. And then the Purna Paskibraka 2023 is also as the person that will be tasking for the proclamation text is Kayla Azahra Purnama from South Sumatra province. This event is also as a part of the 17th anniversary of Indonesia independence, which will be held in two separate locations, such in the Jakarta and also in Nusantara capital city. And then we had already been seeing people previously and so enthusiastically to gather to watch how the processing with the thousands of people have lined up at the certain key sites such as HI Roundabout, Patung Kuda or Horse Statue, and even Semanggi. And not only there, but there's also people along the route of the parade also gathering, giving the warm welcome, even here at the area of the Halim Perdana Kusuma. The Heirloom, I would like to give the explanation of the process for today's process is that the Heirloom flag parade is also served as a tribute and also as a reminder of the significance of the national flag, which symbolizes the struggles and the sovereignty of our nations. The various elements of the society, including students, youth organizations, and local communities, were also participating in today's event to remember the nation's history. And that's today for today's event that I can report for you so far. I'm Adrian Erikusumo with camera person Hari, reporting for TVRI World. Back to you, Rahmat and Valerina.
Yes, thank you, Adrian, for your report from Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport. I don't know whether you can hear us from the studio, but we would like to know like how many personnel that are already set up to welcome the flag and the proclamation text at Halim Perdana Kusuma. Maybe you can tell us more about that.
Right. Adrian, can you hear us here in the studio? Can you give us the latest? Apparently we've been disconnected.
All right. Okay. So because we can see from the screen that there are
right there behind him.
So many people already there, getting ready for welcoming the flag. So maybe we can ask Adrian about that later on when we can reach him directly. Okay, now we're going to talk more to Mr. Margana then.
Right. Mr. Margana, sir, you're still with us. The final destination is Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport. Walk us through for people out there who are wondering the historical significance of this airport, which is also an Air Force base to our nation and the history.
Yeah, this is also the first airport become the part of our capital city of Jakarta, because before that, Jakarta has airport in Kemayoran, which is located really inside in the city and very limited. And that's why the government decided to move from Kemayoran to Halim Perdana Kusuma. And Halim, since the beginning, is the complex where our National Air Force in training. And they also become the center of base of the Air Force. And then President Suharto decided to use as an international airport and become a commercial airport since that time. And today, Of course, after the rebuilding our national airport in Cengkareng, the role of the Halim Perdana Kusuma was reduced, and the name of Halim Perdana Kusuma is very important because it's taken out of the name of Halim. Halim is one of the important figure in our history of national revolution. He one of the pilot that also flew the aircraft legacy from the Japan in that time, and become the hero as a national hero now. And this airport is named after him.
Right. Valerina and also Mr. Margana, we are delighted to inform you that apparently the entire group has now made its way into the tarmac of Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport, where we believe the two main items that have been carried all the way across Jakarta from Monas, the flag and the text of proclamations will be brought over into the aircraft that will fly to the new capital. And we expect moments from now, the processions and the ceremony will take place.
Yeah, we're looking forward to see the flag, the boat flag, arrive safely in Ikn.
Right. The two former flag bearers of 2023 have just exited the car. And the ceremony for the flag and the text to be placed into the aircraft has now commenced. Well, there you have it. The two main items of the parade have made its way into the aircraft now.
Yes, and later on they will be flown to Nusantara in Kalimantan, where they are going to be participating in one of the most anticipated Independence Day celebration, which is going to be taking place at Nusantara in Kalimantan on the 17th of August 2024.
All eyes will be on Nusantara capital city come 17 August 2024, where the heirloom flag and the text of proclamations will be presented and will be there right during the celebrations and the ceremony of 79th Indonesian anniversary of independence. Over to you, Mr. Margana. Share with us your thoughts on these final processions of the parade and the fact that these two items have made its way into the aircraft ready to be flown to Nusantara.
Yeah, finally, the flag has arrived in the Halim Perdana Kusuma, and we all prayed together to the safety of the flag and also the crew to be arrived safely in IKN Jakarta. And we're looking forward to see the flag raised in our new capital city of Indonesia, Nusantara.
Right. Mr. Margana, do you believe that this is the only time that we witness the heirloom flag and the proclamation text to be moved from Jakarta to Nusantara, right? I mean, it's not ever going to happen again.
Maybe, because when the duplicates will be put in IKN, perhaps we will not see this kind of moment again. But of course, everything is depend on the president, Pak Prabowo later, if he decided to to make a similar parade, which is usually the duplicate always accompanied by the bendera pusaka before it raised. So I don't know whether it's still important to continue this tradition even when the capital city moved to IKN. So we're waiting for that, but I'm expecting that this still can be done again in the future, because this is part of the historical moment, and also is part of memorizing our transition from Jakarta to IKN. So that's what I hope. Even if it's possible, also we involving the parades even widely. From instance, I mentioned before, don't forget about Yogyakarta, who used to be also the capital city. as a Yogyakarta, I'm as a citizen of city of Yogyakarta, would be happy to see this parade from Yogyakarta to Jakarta, and then from Jakarta to IKN.
Yes, as we can see on the screen at the moment that the troops have already moved from their previous place, and now I think the aircraft is getting ready to be flown to Nusantara.
Ready for takeoff there. Final preparations, as you can see there on the screen, before the aircraft will take off from Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport all the way to Sepinggan Airport in Balikpapan, East Kalimantan, where the preceding moment will take place with yet another ceremony over in Nusantara, most likely the ceremony of acceptance and the delivery from the airport of Sepinggan, Balikpapan, to the new capital, where I think it's going to take around 60 minutes by land, right, if I'm not mistaken. Val. Final moments now before A7305 aircraft of Indonesian Air Force will take off carrying heirloom flag and the proclamation text of Indonesia ahead of the anniversary of 79th Independence Day celebration of Indonesia. Everything is happening so very tightly now. You can see every arrangement has been made to minute details, making sure that every single thing's planned happened in accordance to schedule, and rightly so, as the tarmac is currently being cleared of surrounding the airplane. Mr. Margana, I'd like to bring up your attention to the current headlines making its way around Indonesia and even around the world. The fact that thousands upon thousands of people will be packing Nusantara capital or rather future capital, for the first ever anniversary of independence in Nusantara. What do you make of the fact that it requires quite a massive efforts for these first celebrations in Nusantara for Independence Day?
Yeah, of course, because of the distance between Jakarta and IKN was more than 1,000 kilometers and need a lot of efforts, especially because of the new capital city and with the most of the limitation because the capital city is still under construction. So the government have really make an extra preparation for this and really think something new, have how to implement this ceremonial, this ceremony, a national ceremony of raising Indonesian flag in Independence Day. So, but this is also good for the people in Kalimantan, where this as far as I understand that the Jokowi will invite most of the governor of the province in Indonesia, including the bupatis and kepala daerah in every kabupaten in Indonesia to IKN. This is very important to put them together in IKN to celebrating this event. And I'm as an Indonesian, I'm very proud of this effort because this is not an easy effort. There's a lot of thing to do, and it takes a long time to really to make this ceremony successful. So we have to support this also because this is not something. The success of this ceremony will also show how we are really serious in preparing this.
Right. I'd like to bring over your attention to the visual that we just witnessed a few seconds ago. We even have visuals from the cockpit. So the camera crew will be flying as well from, I mean, literally from Jakarta to Nusantara.
I believe that there is psychological also feeling that that also maybe we can feel how important is that this mission, the pilots should be, take really care of this national flag to be safely arrived in IKN. So this is really good.
Yes, moments from now, we are going to witness another historical moment in Indonesia history, where for the first time, the Heirloom flag is going to be flown out of Jakarta to Nusantara, the new capital city of Indonesia in Kalimantan.
Yeah, in the distance from where we are right now, we can hear the jet engine starting to roar, meaning that it's gearing up for takeoff.
I can feel that maybe the people who are there is very excited and also
I'm nervous.
Yes, because all of us are watching here also nervous because as we have been discussed since this morning, it is the first time, and so this is a very historical moment. So yes, of course, it is going to be maybe a little bit of burden for the people who are involved in this process, actually, but it is also a rewarding experience after all.
Yeah, a lot of pressure, and we're not talking about cabin pressure here, but the pressure, as you said, Mr. Margana, our treasure, the country's treasure is being brought over to the future capital. Continue, please. Well, there we are.
It's kind of mixed feeling. It's kind of a mixed feeling among the crew in this mission. Because they are so excited at the same time very proud, but also there's a kind of bit of tension and pressure to make sure to keep the flagship arrive there in IKN.
Yes, we surely hope that the process is going to be happening smoothly, and it's going to be arriving very safely in Nusantara capital city.
Right. Well, it is happening as you look at it right now. The A7305 Indonesian Air Force is now making its way into the runway of Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport. This is the aircraft carrying Heirloom flag and the proclamation text from the current capital Jakarta to the future capital Nusantara. Just moments away from takeoff, concluding the entire procession today, the parade of the Heirloom flag and the proclamation manuscript from Jakarta to Nusantara, making its turn into the runway of the airport.
I think the crew should be proud of it because their name will be listed in history, that the first time bringing our Heirloom flag from Jakarta to IKN.
Right, and our names will be in the history as well, Pa Margana, as we are delivering a very live report special programs on one of the most significant happenings of our history. Even though we're here in the studio and you're where you are in Yogyakarta.
Yeah, I'm very happy to witness this with you together, and we hope that everything going well and arrive safely in IKN.
Yes, and the big moment is coming in 1 week from now, where we're going to celebrate the Independence Day of Indonesia on the 17th of August 2024.
Right. Mr. Margana, while we wait for the takeoff, I'd like to get your perspectives on the future capital of Nusantara. There's been a lot of scrutiny on this and a lot of hopes, expectation for the new capital as well. The main idea is to balance out the growth of economy across the country, not only Java-centric, but also other island-centric. In this particular case is Kalimantan or Borneo's economic growth, which is known for its mining, coals and gas and all the other riches of the island. Do you think that is a dream that is realistic for our nations per the instructions of President Jokowi to have this balanced out sort of common growth for different parts, further parts of our country?
Yeah, we have to remember our constitutions that what we call is a pemerataan. What is good way to say in English? That every citizen in Indonesia has the right, to have a better life, not only people in Java. So one of the important goal of the movement of the capital city to Kalimantan is also to what we call is a pemerataan pembangunan. So everyone can enjoy the benefit of our independence, the benefit of economy that we earned so far from our struggle to every people in Indonesia. So this is what Jokowi important ideas that we should understand. We should to support. Because so far the development on infrastructure and economy was centered in Java. It is for the first time that we have to move there. And we have to remember that the plan of moving capital city, it's happened since Sukarno. Sukarno was also planned to move the capital city from Jakarta to Palangkaraya in that time. But this never happened because of many obstacles in our economy and politics. But so what President Jokowi doing now is continuing the plan of our first president Sukarno in that time, and the previous president also have tried to remove the capital city from Jakarta, but there's a lot of thing happen and controversy among the citizens at that time. So only with the strong ideas, with the strong concept of the new capital city, we can do it smoothly. Of course, as I said before, a lot of criticism, a lot of scrutiny about the project. Uh, some of the criticism say that it is not important, it's not the time to remove because we're still facing economic problem in Indonesia. But of course, we cannot delay because as long as you delay the plan to moving the capital city, more problem will come to you. So I think this is a really brave decision from President Jokowi to stick to the plans to move the capital city to Ikn. So we're expecting that the prosperity among Indonesian people as a whole is the goal of our constitution can be implemented soon.
All right, thank you, Mr. Margana, for your insightful opinion over there. Well, there we have it. The whole processions has already completed now. We have witnessed the Heirloom flag parade from Monas, the National Monument in central Jakarta, to Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport, and now has already taken off to Nusantara capital city in East Kalimantan.
Right. I do wish that we have a longer shot of the airport. I'm just making sure of that it's actually taken off right now, but unfortunately that we don't have. But we believe that by now the plane either has taken off or in a process of doing so. The final moments you are looking at right now from Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport as the aircraft carrying Heirloom flag and the manuscript of proclamations are taking off from Jakarta to Nusantara. And also what's coming up, oh, there it is, it's still making its way on the runway. Also what's coming after this is also another, we're not going to be covering it, but we've been informed, it's been reported that another ceremony of, the aircraft has taken off. We wish everyone on board a safe travels, a safe flight all the way to Sepinggan, Balikpapan. What a moment.
What a moment.
It is not a launching of a satellite, but we do feel the sense of nationalisms that we are currently witnessing right now. One moment there.
Yeah. Yeah, my heart is beating hard.
And even the command center that we hear a little bit there from the Halim Perdana Kusuma Airport. It's a bit foggy atmosphere, if you can see there. The air is not so clear there in Jakarta today, but hopefully it's going to be a great flight for everyone making its way to Sepinggan Airport. Right, Mr. Margana, we almost come to the end of our program today. What is your overall take from the entire parade and ceremony today, the grand sense of it that we need to carry over for the 79th anniversary celebrations of our Independence Day?
Yeah, I'm very happy that the parade has happened smoothly and the flag has been carried out through the aircraft safely, and we can only pray now that they will arrive there safely. As a whole, we have to appreciate to the governor of Jakarta and the crew that has prepared this parade and the transportation of the Heirloom flag from Jakarta to Ikn. So very, very big appreciation for them, as including the crew that involved in this parade and transportation. So that's what I can say. Merdeka.
Merdeka.
Merdeka, indeed.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Margana, for joining us today. We really appreciate your time this morning from very early until
That's
now.
Right. You are with us for the whole, if not 2-3 hours now. I've lost count. From Jakarta, I would like to thank our historian from Universitas Gadjah Mada over in Yogyakarta, Mr. S. Margana. Thank you very much for your insights and for your analysis and for your time here on our special program on TV Hour. We look forward to seeing you again, sir.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Right, and that brings us to the close of the special program today, the Heirloom Flag Parade from Jakarta, Indonesia. Finally, the both of us bid you adieu. We look forward to the Independence Day celebrations a week from now. I'm Rahmat Idris.
And I'm Valerina Daniel. Thank you for joining us today on TV Our World for the Heirloom Flag Parade. Of course, we would like to wish you a happy Independence Day for Indonesia and have a good weekend.
Bye-bye. Aku belum ada instruksi tutup,